Make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit that bell notification to get the notifications when we post new videos. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Guild circular saw from Argos. Now, I've done a previous video on this. You can check it on the description down below or on the eye on the top right hand corner. So this circular saw gives you a max cut of 52.5 millimeters in wood, which is the blade that's supplied with this circular saw. Here's some technical information that's written on the box and what's inside the box. That'll be all in the description if you want to check that out, or you can press pause. Now, this circular saw comes with a 160mm 24T blade, and if you want to use a different blade you'll have to purchase it, but it has to be 160mm. The circular saw has a range of features, and I'm going to show you in action and also point those features out and answer those questions you've been asking. So it has dust extraction there on the side. You can use a hoover with that or not. It does move the dust to the side. You've got the safety guard there, which can be retracted using this, and automatically retracts when you cut. Another question I've been asked is, does this have bevel cuts? Yes, it supports bevel cuts. It also has a guide rail, so you can make sure you're cutting a straight edge. If you need precision cuts here, you can screw that on with a screw. It's got measurements on the top here, so you can get the right depth cut you need from the measurements with the guide rail. So like I said, this circular saw has the ability to use bevel cuts. So I'll just show you the front of the circular saw here, and this little screw, you just untighten it and that allows you to move the base plate, which gives you the opportunity to do bevel cuts. So let me just loosen it a bit more so I can show you. So you can see you can get max bevel cut there of 45 degrees. I'll show you the measurements in a second close up, but you can get a good bevel cut. You just tighten it up and then you're able to cut with a circular saw. So here's a close up at the measurements. You can see 45 degree max bevel cut is what you can get with the circular saw. You can also change the depth of the blade. I'll show you that in a second. It's got the safety button feature there, so you have to push that button in before you can press the trigger for the circular saw to work, which is really good, which means no one can just accidentally pick this up and start the circular saw. You have to push that little black button down and then push the trigger. You can't use it otherwise, so good safety feature there. And going over to the back of the circular saw, you'll be able to see that you can, back of the circular saw there, you can see that you've got your plunge cut or depth, so what depth you want to be cutting to. So this little lever here, you just lift it up and that allows you to then move the base plate to adjust it to the depth of wood you're cutting, and allow you to do plunge cuts if necessary. So that is a good feature there with this circular saw. And I know some of you guys want the circular saw in action, so here's the blade spinning. So there we go, those for the people wanting to see. Here's some wood I've cut now. Unfortunately, when I cut the wood, the camera wasn't recording, but I will cut some wood later on and show you. And it does a very good clean cut. Now the wood I used was a bit damaged off scrap wood, so it's got a few chips in it, but as you can see it's got a very nice clean cut to this. You've got the very even cut there. You've got a little bit of fraying at the bottom edge, which you would expect, so that will be the non-finished side. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera that much. And then on the other side of the wood, excuse the damage that was already there before, you can see you get a nice clean cut. It's not the straightest cut because I'm not using any guides or anything, it's just a piece of scrap wood I've cut. But I've been predominantly using it to cut fence posts, so these are the fence posts I've been using to cut. You can see it's a fairly chunky bit of wood and it cuts through them quite easily, very efficient as well. A nice clean cut. So here's the circular saw in action. I'm just going to cut a bit of scrap wood. It's not going to be the straightest cut ever, but just to show you, you can see the dust shooting off to the side there. If you had a vacuum attached to it, you would get the dust extraction. And let me show you what the piece of wood looks like. So that's the end grain, a little bit of coloration there from the disc, from the heat of the blade. But it's a very even, clean cut. Again, that's the bottom side where you get a bit of fraying, and that's the top side. You can see very clean cut, very nice edge you'll get with this. And the other piece of wood, I know some people like to see both grain ends, so you see there a little bit of burning of the wood on one side from the blade, and that's the heat generated from the blade itself. This circular saw is great for cutting wood, doing DIY. For the price it is absolutely amazing in my opinion. I've used it to cut several fence posts, putting up a fence 2 years ago in my garden, and that did the job so easily. It's a really good circular saw. It only comes with one blade, so if you want a fine cut blade you will have to get a different blade as well. And it's a good circular saw to have if you're a DIY enthusiast, if you're going to be cutting loft boards, if you're going to be cutting fence posts, if you're going to be cutting bits of timber, you want to do it, you want to get a good finish, you want to do it quickly. This is the tool to have for a DIY enthusiast, and it's probably not a tool to have for a professional. There are better tools out there for professionals, but for someone that does a bit of DIY, needs to cut some boards, got some projects ahead, maybe you want to board out the loft, maybe you want to make some shelves or some other pieces of DIY that you want to do, this is the perfect circular saw to have for the price. Remember, the price of this circular saw, I got it for £30 from Argos, and it is absolutely fantastic. Remember, this is a Phantom brand. I know a lot of people have been saying you can't find information about this circular saw brand guild online, and that's because it's a Phantom brand by Argos, so they don't have a website. There's not much information about this circular saw online other than on the Argos website, and of course YouTube videos like this. But it is a generic circular saw that has very good features that you would expect on some higher end circular saws. It's got a nice grip to it, so you're not going to be finding it difficult to hold. It's got a good amount of weight to it. I do have to say it's quite heavy, so you have to realize that. But for the price, guys, for the price, £30 was absolutely amazing. I don't know what the current price of this circular saw is. I'll put that in the description down below, but I do know it fluctuates. Sometimes they do have it on sale, but it's around 30, 35, 40 pounds in that price range. It kind of changes every so often. So I'll leave a link in the description down below for the other video that I did on this circular saw that got all the questions and responses for this. Hopefully I've answered everything I can. This video was a bit tricky to film. I was on my own, and also the fact that I recorded a bunch of stuff that didn't get recorded, so I had to redo it, and it didn't quite come across the way I wanted. But I'm publishing this video to get that information out about this circular saw, and I'm more than happy to do another video if you want to see something in particular done with this circular saw in action. So drop a comment down below, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next tech video right here on RME.